Hey Universal students, it's Matt, the co-founder of Universal CPA. Now this video will walk you through the basics of how to use the Universal CPA platform. So when you first log in, the first screen that you will see is your product dashboard. Now if you haven't started your free trial yet, simply click Start Trial and you'll have instant access to all 4 sections. Now, if you already purchased the course, you'll already have access to the sections that you purchased. Now to get started, all you need to do is click Continue on any of the products. In this video, we'll go through the FAR section since that is what most students start with. So as you can see, each section is organized into a number of chapters, and then within each chapter, there's a series of modules. Now, the order in which this material is learned was thoughtfully determined so that the information compounds in a way that helps you learn best and you don't get burned out. Now, each section has been 100% mapped to the AI CPA blueprints. Now, within each module, you'll see that you have video lectures, study guide, multiple choice questions, and task-based simulations. Now, we haven't included a task-based simulation for every module because not every single topic is able to have a simulation on the exam, right? We only have simulations where the AI CPA says the student or candidate needs to have a skill set of being able to analyze or evaluate. Now, we're going to focus on adjusting journal entries, a very common topic, very difficult topic. Now, for each module, you should start by watching a series of bite-sized video lectures. This is where we introduce the topic, and this is where you will learn your mental map, and this is where we will help you lay the foundation for the topic. Now, the video lectures use visual learning to help with comprehension and retention. We do not read the book to you. We do not ask you to underscore and just circle everything on the screen, right? Those methods are only helpful if you want to memorize the information, which is a recipe for failing the CPA exam. So off to your right is your playlist, and on the screen is the actual topic that you're learning. Right, these are all going to be less than 30 minutes, with each bite-sized video being roughly 3 to 5 minutes long. For each module, there is also a study guide. And as you can see, this is our electronic book. Now, minimal time should be spent on the study guides as all of the relevant information has been pulled into the MCQ and simulation explanations. Now, it's extremely inefficient to have to constantly refer back to the textbook or the lecture to help you solve the MCQ or simulation. So what we recommend is just reading or skimming through this study guide at least 1 or 2 times to refresh yourself on what you learned in the lecture. And so if you watch the lecture in the morning, maybe you flip through this on your lunch break. Now from there, you can dive right into the multiple choice questions, right? And you can see that you can select how many you want to perform, as well as the question type, right? Last seen, incorrect, flagged as difficult, and unseen. We recommend just going with all, especially if it's your first time through. Now you want to just do 25 questions right off the bat. So multiple choice questions are extremely important, right? In the lecture, we built that foundation, but that does not mean that we're ready to walk in and tackle these complex questions. So we need to learn to apply, and guess what? We're not going to leave you to do them by yourself. So basically what you do, right, is you would go through the question, attempt it, and if you get it right, that's great. If you get it wrong, this is where it's really important to fully understand why. So on the right, you're going to have your text explanation, but this is where the magic happens. So every single multiple choice question comes with a video explanation. And you can expand this, but I'm just going to leave it right here. And as you can see, basically we walk you through the big picture, we point out the important information, and then we help you solve this question from start to finish. If it's a series of steps, we'll go through step by step. Now these videos are anywhere from 60 seconds on the low end for simple ones, and then if it's a very complex question, it could be upwards of 5 minutes. Now the whole idea here is that we're your virtual tutor. It's like we're sitting here next to you, helping you learn to apply this information, because we all know you can't just watch a video lecture and then go tackle these complex questions. So what happens if you watch this explanation video and it still doesn't make sense? Well, you can come down and you can ask Joey a question. So this is your opportunity to ask the co-founders of the Universal course your specific question, and they'll follow up via email within 24 hours. Now for simulations, you can attempt it after going through the MCQs, or you can wait until you are in your final review phase. Simulations are quite a step up in terms of complexity when compared to MCQs, so you will need to have a very solid understanding of the topic, otherwise you're just going to get frustrated. At the very least, I recommend watching the explanation video. So as you can see, you click in, this is the format, very similar to the way it would be on the actual exam. So if all you want to do is watch the explanation video, I recommend doing that as well. That's great for the first time through, because you'll learn how the simulation is structured, how to approach the simulation, and then how to navigate and solve it. This is like an extra step of the lectures. It's expanding on the multiple choice questions, and it will really help fill in that big picture. So every candidate's going to work through these modules at a different pace depending on their study schedule. Now, at least once a week, we recommend doing cumulative progress tests. And as you can see, this allows you to select multiple choice questions from specific modules or chapters. Now, what I mean by cumulative is to test yourself on all of the material you have covered to date. Right? So let's say it's month 2 and you're through chapter 3. Well, you would go in here and select chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then you would go ahead and start the practice test. Now, similarly, right, what this does is it brings all of the knowledge that you've learned already, and it brings it back into your frame, and you can remember exactly what you need, and it will help you remember maybe what you've forgotten. So now that we've taken you through the Universal platform, it's ultimately up to you to put in the time and effort to pass the CPA exam. Only you can get to the finish line. You know where you're going, and we are just there to help you get there.